Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Carl, your go-to source for all things related to Canada immigration, jobs, and travel. Today we're talking about some major updates to Canada's visitor visa system. So if you're planning to visit Canada or are in the process of applying for a visa, these changes could directly impact you. Stay tuned because I'll explain everything you need to know to avoid any surprises. Let's dive right in. So the big update, the Canadian government has made some significant changes to the way visitors' visas are issued going forward. Most importantly, Canada has cancelled the automatic issuance of 10-year multiple entry visas. Instead, visa officers now have more discretion in deciding not only the type of visa you receive, that is single entry or multiple entry, but also the duration of the visa. So this means that visa officers will evaluate your application based on your travel history, ties to your home country, financial stability, and the specific purpose of your visit. Gone are the days of automatic 10-year visas. Instead, every case will be assessed individually. So in essence, your visa's length and type are no longer guaranteed. Officers are using their judgment to ensure visas are granted fairly and align with your intent to visit Canada. But why the change? Now, let's talk about why Canada is introducing these changes at all. It comes down to managing the growing number of visa applications and reducing the risk of misuse or overstays. These are the two main things driving these changes. In fact, Canada has seen a surge in visa applications over the past few years, with many applicants seeking multiple entry visas for extended periods. Now, while most travelers follow the rules, there have been cases of overstays and visa misuse, which these new rules aim to address. By giving visa officers more discretion, Canada is ensuring that visas are granted to travelers with clear, genuine purposes for visiting Canada. So this helps streamline the system while addressing potential fraud as well. Now, under this new system, there are three main types of visas. Now, let's break down the types of visitor visas Canada offers now. Understanding these will help you tailor your application for the best chance of success. Now, the very first one is single entry visa. So this is for one-time travel to Canada. So for example, if you're attending a specific event or visiting family just once, this is the visa you'd likely receive. So these are for those that intend to come, leave, and then do not have any intention of coming back to Canada. So you'd fall under this category of single entry visas. Second one is multiple entry visa. So this allows you to travel to Canada as many times as you want within the visa's validity period. However, the length of this visa is now tied to your application details. Like I said, no more automatic 10-year visas. So your application details like travel history and other details coupled with the officer's judgment is what will determine the length of your visa going forward. And then thirdly, we have the transit visa. That's the last one. So if you are just passing through Canada on your way to another country and you won't be staying, this is the visa that you'd need and you'd likely get. The interesting thing and the good thing about the transit visa is that Canada has indicated that this is going to be free. You'd still need to apply for the visa, but it is going to be free for those that need a transit visa. If you've ever had to go to another country through the United States, you would know that you would need a transit visa of some sort, So Canada is also introducing something like this, but the good news, as I've mentioned, is that it is free. So the key point here is that whether you get a single or multiple entry visa, the length of the visa will now depend on the discretion of the officer processing your application. So every detail you include matters, okay? Keep that in mind. And now going forward, you need to ensure that your application has the best chance of approval, okay? And here is what you need to focus on. I'll just discuss a few of them. First, your detailed travel history. So make sure that you provide a complete record of your international travels. Include dates, include destinations, and any supporting documentation that will verify your intent of coming to Canada, because visa officers will use this to assess your reliability as a traveler. So one of the reasons that people get refused Canada visas is because the visa officer does not believe the intent or doubt the intent of the applicant. So for example, if the applicant is saying on their application that they intend to come to Canada for only 2 weeks, the visa officer is going to see if they believe that. Now, if they have any doubts at all, this might lead to your visa being denied. So you want to put your best foot forward, okay? Now, the second one is proof of financial stability. So you need to show that you can support yourself during your stay. So this includes bank statements, employment letters, or proof of sponsorship if someone else is covering your expenses. You need to make sure these are top-notch as well, as this would go a long way to impacting your application and the type of visa that you get. Then the third one, purpose of visit. So here's my advice. Be crystal clear about why you are visiting Canada or why you intend to visit Canada. So whether it's for tourism, whether it's for a business meeting, or whether it's for a family visit, spell it out in detail. If for tourism, you might want to have some tourist sites listed in your application. If for family visit or business meeting, have those details explained clearly in your application. One thing about Canada visit visa applications is that it is not like the USA one where you go for an interview. Most times, or even all the time in Canada, you don't go for an interview, right? So you make sure that the documents you are presenting to the visa officer speak for themselves, because you won't be there to explain any inconsistencies in the documents or anything that might be flagged, and you would have been able to explain, right? So let the documents speak for themselves, okay? And then the last one that I like to speak about is make sure you always have a complete and accurate information, okay? So don't guess or provide vague details. I'll speak about this in my next video, but make sure the information that you provide in your application is accurate. Now, any inaccuracies could lead to delays or even a refusal, okay? So keep that in mind, and these are the tips that can help boost your chances for approval. And remember, failing to disclose past visa refusals or travel bans or any other relevant information could lead to misrepresentation, something that can result in a ban from entering Canada. I'm going to speak about this a bit in my next video. Now, here's how the discretion of the visa officer can impact your application. You see, the visa officer's discretion now plays a very, very big role. So even if you think you meet all the requirements, the officer reviewing your application has the authority to decide whether to grant a single or multiple entry visa. They can also limit the duration of your visa based on your circumstances. So for instance, if you have a limited travel history or weak financial documentation, you might only get a single entry visa. And on the other hand, frequent travelers with strong ties to their home country might receive a longer term multiple entry visa. So this is why your application needs to be rock solid. Okay, like I was saying, the more evidence you provide to show that you are a genuine traveler, the better your chances are of getting that visa. And now let's wrap up with some practical advice to avoid common mistakes and strengthen your application. Number one, double check all the details you provide. So make sure that every piece of information is accurate and complete. Even small errors in your application can lead to delays or refusals. Okay, so keep that in mind. It doesn't matter if these errors are intentional or accidental. Okay, they have very, very big consequences. And two, be honest about past refusals. Okay, if you have been denied a visa to Canada or any other country, just disclose it. Okay, just be open about it. It doesn't really matter. Hiding this could actually hurt your chances more than being upfront, because there are people that have been refused visas to USA and got visas to Canada later, and the other way around, but hiding that information could be very detrimental to your application, As you may already know, US and Canada have a sharing of information agreement. Okay, so keep that in mind as well. And lastly, don't rush your application. Take time to gather all the required documents and review everything before you hit the submit button. Okay, it is better for you to take your time and make sure you get everything right and then be approved rather than rush everything and then get refused and then have to go through the whole process again. So take your time. Okay, do not be in a rush at all. If you are unsure about any part of the process, what to submit or what to put in your application, speak to other people. Okay, you can put your questions in the comment section. You can ask other people that have already been through the process. You can even speak to an immigration consultant or lawyer. You know, it's better to get help than to do something that would rather harm your application. Again, like I said, remember that visa officers now have more power to make judgment calls. So you want to make sure that their decision is as easy as possible by submitting a thorough, well-prepared application. You know, one that when the visa officer picks up, they are very clear about your intentions and your purpose in Canada. All right, so what do you think about these changes to Canada's visitor visa rules? Do you feel like they are fair, or do you think they make the process too complicated? Do you also think this might hurt Canada's tourism industry? Let me know in the comment section below. And if you found this video helpful, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and hit that bell icon for more updates, as it really helps to grow the channel. I'll continue to give you more updates on Canada immigration jobs and travel tips. Until next time, I'm Carl, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.